Welcome to the peaceful space of sleep-friendly science, where our curiosity gently leads us beyond the human experience to wonder about the hidden, inner worlds of the creatures we share our planet with. Have you ever looked into the eyes of an animal and felt a flicker of deep curiosity? What thoughts might be swirling behind them? Tonight, we invite you to wonder with us about these hidden realities, exploring the possibility of minds and senses entirely different from our own. Now, settle in, take a deep breath, and let the soft sounds guide you as we begin tonight's journey into the unknown. Section 1. The Door to Other Minds. As you lie here, letting the weight of the day dissolve, I want you to imagine a window. Perhaps it is the window of your own room, looking out into the quiet hush of the night. Beyond the glass, the world continues its silent, rhythmic dance. A moth might be fluttering against the pane, drawn to the gentle light within. A cat may slink across a distant wall, a fluid shadow in the moonlight. In the branches of a sleeping tree, a bird is tucked away, its tiny heart beating a steady, peaceful rhythm. We see them. We acknowledge their presence. We might even feel a sense of companionship in this shared, quiet moment. But tonight, we are invited to ask a question that is both beautifully simple and profoundly deep. What do they see when they look back? Or, perhaps more accurately, what reality do they inhabit that we, from our window, can never truly enter? This is the great, gentle question that lies at the heart of our journey tonight. We are so accustomed to our own reality, so deeply immersed in the world as we perceive it, that it feels like the only one. Our experience of the world is built from a specific set of tools. It is painted with the light our eyes can see, that familiar, vibrant spectrum from red to violet. It is scored with the sounds our ears can detect, a range of frequencies that defines our auditory landscape. Our world is shaped by the concepts our brains can form, by the intricate tapestry of language, memory, and our continuous sense of self, that little narrator in our minds that tells us who we are from one moment to the next. Imagine this human consciousness as a room. It is a beautiful, intricate, and wonderfully complex room, filled with the furniture of our thoughts, decorated with the art of our emotions, and lit by the lamp of our awareness. We have spent our entire lives within this room, and so we have come to believe that its walls are the very limits of existence itself. But what if this room, our human reality, is just one room in a vast, sprawling, and ancient mansion? What if, just next door, there is another room, inhabited by the consciousness of that cat you saw, a reality built not on abstract thought, but on a razor-sharp awareness of territory, of subtle shifts in the air, of the silent language of posture and scent? And next to that, another, smaller room, belonging to the moth, a reality painted not with images as we know them, but with the intoxicating, magnetic pull of moonlight and the fragrant map of night-blooming flowers. This is the philosophical door we are gently pushing open tonight. It is sometimes called the problem of other minds. It is the quiet, unbridgeable space that exists between your consciousness and my consciousness, and between our human consciousness and that of every other living creature. We can never truly be the bat, or the octopus, or the bee. We cannot wear their senses, or think their thoughts. And yet, science, in its patient and curious way, offers us little keys, little glimpses through the keyholes of these other rooms. It allows us to wonder, with a foundation of knowledge, about the sheer variety of experience that life has created. Let's begin with something very small, something you might easily overlook. A spider, perhaps, in the corner of its web. To us, it is a creature of 8 legs and silent patience. But what is its reality? Its primary world is not one of light or sound, but of vibration. Its web is not just a trap. It is an extension of its own body, a sensory organ of immense sophistication. Imagine, just for a moment, that your sense of self did not end at your fingertips. Imagine it extended out into a shimmering, silk-spun universe. Every thread is a nerve ending. You do not see the fly approach. You feel its panicked wing beats as a specific tremor, a distinct musical note in the symphony of your web. You can feel the gentle caress of the breeze as a soft, sweeping chord. You can distinguish the weight of a dewdrop from the footfall of a potential mate. This is a world of pure touch, of geometry felt and understood in a way we can barely conceive. The spider's mind does not need to think. A fly has landed. The knowledge is immediate, a physical truth that resonates through its entire being. Its reality is a living, vibrating map of tensions and frequencies. From this single, humble example, the possibilities begin to unfold like a thousand-petaled lotus. The world we see, the one we are so sure of, is merely a slice of the whole. It is a human-filtered translation of an infinitely more complex and varied reality. We are surrounded by other translations, other stories being told by other minds. The story of the world told in ultraviolet light, a language visible to the bee, but invisible to us. The story told in echoes and pressure waves, the way a dolphin builds a cathedral of sound in the dark, silent water. The story told through the Earth's magnetic fields, a sixth sense that guides a migrating bird across continents with a certainty that baffles our most advanced navigation systems. As we drift deeper into this shared quiet, we let go of the anchor of human certainty. We allow ourselves to float in the vast ocean of possibility. We are not just observers of a single, static world. We are participants in a chorus of countless realities, each one a unique and valid interpretation of existence. The journey we are embarking on is not about finding definitive answers, for those may lie forever beyond our reach. It is about learning to ask the questions with a sense of reverence and wonder. It is about expanding our own room of consciousness by acknowledging the endless, beautiful rooms that lie just beyond our own walls, each one lit by a different kind of light, each one telling a different part of the great, cosmic story. And so, we begin by listening, by imagining, and by respecting the profound, silent mystery of the minds that surround us. Section 2. The Symphony of Scent. Let us drift now from the abstract idea of other minds into one of the most powerful and yet, for us, one of the most underappreciated of all realities, the world built from scent. Take a slow, deep breath through your nose. What do you perceive? Perhaps the clean scent of your linens, the faint, woody fragrance of furniture, or the lingering aroma of a tea you enjoyed earlier. For us, scent is often a gentle companion to memory. The smell of rain on hot pavement might transport you back to a summer childhood. The scent of a particular flower might recall a garden, or a person you once loved. It is evocative, emotional, but it is rarely our primary source of information about the here and now. For us, scent is a whisper from the past, a background melody. But now, imagine that this melody is not in the background. Imagine it is the entire symphony. Imagine that you do not just smell to remember, but you smell to know, to see, to navigate, and to understand the very fabric of the present moment. Let us, with gentle reverence, try to step into the consciousness of a creature for whom this is the truth. Let's imagine the reality of a dog. As you join your canine companion for a walk in the park, you see a world of green grass, towering trees, a winding path, and other people. Your reality is a visual postcard. But for the dog at your side, this same space is a living, breathing library of information, a cathedral of scent. The world is not painted in colors, it is composed of odors. The lamppost on the corner is not merely a black, metal pole. To the dog's nosy an instrument of breathtaking complexity, with up to 300 million olfactory receptors, compared to our meager 6 million at lamppost, is a vibrant, shouting pillar of stories. It is a community bulletin board. Imagine you could perceive it as your dog does. You would not see the pole. You would experience its scent shape. There is the faint, cold smell of the metal itself, but that is merely the canvas. Painted upon it, in layers, are the scent signatures of every other dog who has passed this way. You can smell the sharp, confident mark of the large German Shepherd from this morning, a statement of presence and territory. Beneath that, you can detect the fainter, more anxious scent of a small terrier that scurried by yesterday afternoon. Fainter still, like a chemical ghost, is the signature of a dog that visited a week ago, its story almost faded from the page. You are not just smelling in space, you are smelling through time. The past is not a memory in your head, it is a physical, tangible layer in the world around you. As you continue your walk, you pull gently on the leash, wanting to move forward. But your companion is rooted to a single spot on the grass, nose twitching, a frantic and intricate dance of inhalation. You see nothing, but your dog is reading a dramatic novel. A rabbit was here not 10 minutes ago. Its scent is a bright, electric trail of fear, a vivid splash of olfactory color against the dull, green scent of the grass. A fox crossed this path 3 hours ago, its musky, cunning scent a darker, heavier line. Your dog's mind is constructing a detailed, four-dimensional map of events, a history of who did what, where, and when, all from the invisible molecules hanging in the air. And what of you, its human companion? Your dog knows you not primarily by the sight of your face or the sound of your voice, but by your unique, unrepeatable scent cloud. This cloud is your personal atmosphere, a complex perfume made of your soap, your diet, your health, and even your emotions. When you are happy, your scent changes subtly, a brighter note in the composition. When you are sad or afraid, your body releases different chemical signals, and your dog can read these shifts more accurately than they can read the expression on your face. They are smelling your feelings. Your arrival home is not heralded by the sound of your key in the lock, but by the familiar scent of your presence blowing under the door minutes before you arrive, a promise carried on the wind. This is a reality governed by an entirely different physics of perception. The dog's nose is not a passive receptor, it's an active, analytical tool. When a dog sniffs, it's not just one breath. It is a series of rapid, pulsating inhalations, up to 300 per minute, that swirl the air into eddies within its nasal cavity, allowing the scent molecules to settle and be analyzed by different receptors. They even exhale through slits in the sides of their nose, ensuring that their outbreath doesn't disturb the precious, information-rich air they are about to sample. It is a form of seeing that is as complex and nuanced as our own vision, perhaps even more so. And this olfactory world is not limited to dogs. Imagine being a grizzly bear in the vast wilderness of North America. Your world is an immense, scent-defined territory. Your consciousness can stretch for miles, carried on the breeze. You can smell a carcass up to 20 miles away, a distant beacon of sustenance. You can smell the coming of rain, the stress pheromones of a herd of elk, the presence of a rival bear on the other side of a mountain. Your awareness is not confined to your immediate surroundings. It is a sprawling, panoramic map of potential food, danger, and opportunity. Or consider the salmon, returning from the vast, anonymous ocean. How does it find its way back to the exact stream where it was born? It is guided by a chemical memory, an olfactory ghost. It is tasting the water, searching for a single, unique molecular signature, the scent of its home. It is a pilgrimage guided by a fragrance learned in its first moments of life, a scent that is both a map and a destination, a form of nostalgia so powerful it can guide a body across thousands of miles of ocean. Let us return, for a moment, to the moth, fluttering in the night. For a male silkworm moth, reality can be simplified to an almost singular, divine purpose. Its feathery antennae are not just feelers, they are exquisitely tuned instruments designed to catch a single type of molecule, the pheromone of a female. His world may not be rich in the narrative detail of a dog's, but it is a world of absolute direction. The air is a gradient, and all he must do is fly toward the source of that one, intoxicating scent. His entire consciousness might be described as a compass needle, forever shivering and pointing towards its one true north. As you lie here, feel the air as it enters your own body. It is not empty. It is a silent, invisible ocean, and we are, in our own way, swimming through it. We may only be able to perceive the strongest currents, the most obvious tides of aroma. But all around us, In this very room, and in the world just outside, that ocean is being read, interpreted, and lived in by other minds in ways of breathtaking complexity. The air itself is a story, a history, a map, and a language. And we have only just begun to imagine what it would be like to be a fluent reader. Section 3. Colors beyond our spectrum. From the rich, layered, and invisible world of scent, let us now drift back to a sense we feel we know so intimately: our sight. Open your mind's eye for a moment and picture a rainbow. You can see it clearly, can't you? That familiar, perfect dark of color, beginning with the deep warmth of red, flowing through orange and yellow, into the cool tranquility of green and blue, and finally deepening into the mystery of indigo and violet. We call this the visible spectrum. For us, this is the palette with which the entire visual world is painted. It feels complete. It feels like everything. But what if I told you that this beautiful spectrum, this rainbow that has inspired poets and artists for millennia, is in truth just a tiny sliver of the light that is constantly showering our world? What if it is like being able to hear only a single octave on a grand piano that stretches to infinity in both directions? What if, just beyond the edge of violet, there is another color? A color our eyes are not built to see, but which is as real and as vibrant as red or blue. This is the world of ultraviolet light. To us, it is invisible, a blank space. But to countless other creatures, this ultraviolet light is not just a scientific concept. It is a fundamental component of their reality. It is a language, a map, a secret code written across the face of the world. Let us, for a moment, borrow the eyes of a bee as it hums its way through a summer meadow. To your human eyes, a field of sunflowers is a joyous, but somewhat uniform, sea of yellow. Each flower head looks much like the next. It is beautiful, but simple. Now, let us switch our perception. As a bee, your eyes are tuned to a different channel. You can see that ultraviolet color, and suddenly, the meadow is transformed. It is no longer a sea of yellow. The world has burst into a landscape of secret signals. That plain yellow sunflower is now a radiant, two-toned bullseye. The outer petals might still be yellow, but the center, where the precious nectar and pollen await, glows with a deep, absorbing ultraviolet darkness. It is a luminous landing strip, a beacon that shouts, "Here! The reward is here." A simple dandelion is no longer just a puff of yellow. It is a shimmering UV target. Flowers that look pale or white to us, like the simple wood anemone, are emblazoned with intricate UV patterns, lines, and that act as nectar guides, pointing the way to the heart of the flower with an efficiency we could never have imagined. The entire meadow has become a city of glowing advertisements, each one competing for your attention. The flowers are not passive objects of beauty. They are active communicators, speaking in a language of light that is tailored specifically for you, the pollinator. They have painted themselves in colors you can see and we cannot, a private conversation between flower and bee that has been unfolding for millions of years. As you fly through this world, you are not simply wandering. You are navigating a complex and radiant web of signals, a reality of breathtaking and purposeful beauty that remains completely hidden from human eyes. Now, let us trade the compound eye of the bee for the sharp, discerning eye of a bird. Let us perch on a branch and look at our own kind. To a human, a flock of European starlings might appear as a collection of nearly identical, glossy black birds. But in the bird's eye view, a new dimension of social information snaps into focus. Their feathers, which to us absorb light, are in fact shimmering with iridescent patterns that reflect ultraviolet light. The sheen on a male's throat, which looks merely dark to us, might be a brilliant UV beacon to a female, a shining testament to his health and fitness. The subtle spots on their wings become a complex code, broadcasting age, status, and social standing within the flock. What appears to us as a uniform group is, to them, a rich tapestry of individuals, each wearing their identity in a secret color. They are not just birds. They are knights in shining, invisible armor, their plumage a coat of arms readable only by their peers. This hidden visual layer is not just for social signaling. For a kestrel hovering high above a field, this ultraviolet sense is a tool of the hunt. It is not looking for the mouse itself, but for its trail. The urine left behind by small rodents absorbs ultraviolet light, and so against the UV-reflective background of soil and dry leaves, the trail of a vole or a mouse appears as a dark, glowing path. The kestrel is literally following a map of its prey's recent journey, a map drawn in a color of light we cannot perceive. Ripe fruits and berries, too, often have a waxy coating that reflects UV light, making them stand out like glowing jewels against the green foliage for a foraging bird. The world is not just more colorful for them, it is more legible. Information is written everywhere, in a vibrant, secret ink. So, what does this do to our solid, certain idea of reality? That flower is not objectively yellow. Yellow is just our brain's interpretation of a certain wavelength of light that our retinal cones are equipped to detect. To the bee, that same flower is objectively yellow and UV patterned. To a creature that is colorblind, it is a shade of gray. Which one is the true flower? The gentle, wondrous answer is all of them, and none of them. Reality, you see, is not a single fixed photograph of the world that we are all looking at. It is an interactive dance between the external universe and the internal senses of the perceiver. The universe offers a vast, infinite spectrum of information: light waves, sound waves, chemical molecules, vibrations. But each mind, each form of consciousness, is equipped with a unique set of tools to sample and interpret that information. We, with our 3 types of color-receptive cones, perceive our rainbow. The bee, with its different set of receptors, perceives its own. A mantis shrimp, with its 16 types of photoreceptors, perceives a reality of color and polarization so complex that we lack even the vocabulary to begin describing it. As you lie here, in the quiet darkness, imagine a light that is still present in the room, unseen by you. The moonlight filtering through your window contains this ultraviolet component. The surfaces of the objects around you are reflecting it in ways unique to their composition. You are bathed in a light you cannot see. The world is, at this very moment, painted in its secret colors, waiting for the eyes that are built to read them. It is a profoundly humbling thought. The world we see is not the world. It is simply our world. And it is just one masterpiece in a gallery of infinite, coexisting realities. Section 4. Echoes in the Abyss. Let's now leave the world of light behind, a world that we, as primates, hold so dear. Let our consciousness drift downwards, sinking from the sunlit sky and the vibrant meadows, down into a realm where light fades and eventually disappears altogether. We are descending into the deep, quiet, and profound embrace of the ocean. Down here, in the vast blue-black abyss, sight is a luxury that life can no longer afford. The rules of reality have changed. Here, another sense reigns supreme. Here, the world is not seen, it is heard. Imagine you are no longer bound by your human form. Feel your body become sleek, powerful, and perfectly attuned to the water. You are a dolphin, a creature of breathtaking grace, a mind shaped by the physics of sound in a liquid medium. The world around you is a featureless, dark expanse to any human eye. But to you, it is not empty. It is a space you can fill with your own perception. You begin with a click. It is a sharp, focused, high-frequency sound, generated in your nasal passages, not your larynx. This sound travels out from your forehead from a fatty organ called the melon, which acts like a lens, focusing the clicks into a beam. This beam of sound shoots out into the darkness ahead of you, traveling through the water at a speed nearly 5 times faster than it would in air. And then you listen. You listen with a stillness and an acuity that is almost unimaginable. You listen not with external ears, but with your jaw. Your lower jawbone is filled with a special fat that receives the returning echoes and transmits them directly to your inner ear. And in the silent space between your outgoing click and the incoming echo, reality is born. The echo that returns is not just a single sound. It is a complex, information-rich acoustic photograph. The time it takes for the echo to return tells you the exact distance to an object. The slight difference in the time it arrives at the right and left sides of your jaw tells you its precise direction. But this is just the beginning. The texture of the echo, its pitch, its resonance, its timbre, this is where the true magic lies. From this echo, you can discern the size, shape, speed, and even the texture of an object. You can tell the difference between a rock and a fish. More than that, you can tell the difference between one species of fish and another just by the way the sound reflects off their bodies. But you can go even deeper. This beam of sound can penetrate soft tissues. You are, in essence, a living, breathing ultrasound machine. You can perceive the internal structure of the fish in front of you. You can hear its skeleton, its swim bladder, its muscles. You might even be able to hear the frantic, frightened beating of its heart. Now you are swimming with your pod, your family. You are not alone in this dark water. You are surrounded by the clicks and whistles of your companions. This is not just noise. It is a constant, flowing conversation. With a specific whistle, you call out your name, a unique sonic signature that you have had since you were a calf. Another dolphin answers with its own name whistle. You are weaving a social reality out of sound. You turn your echolocation beam towards one of your own. The echo that returns is intimate. You can perceive the state of its body. You might be able to tell if it is pregnant, hearing the echo of the tiny body growing within. You might perceive the echo of its lungs filling with air, or the state of its digestion. It is a level of nonverbal intimacy that is almost unthinkably invasive to a human mind, but to a dolphin, it is simply the nature of being. There are fewer secrets in a world built of sound. Let us now go deeper, further out into the vast expanse, and change our form once more. Let us become a humpback whale, a leviathan of the deep, a singer of the most complex songs in the animal kingdom. Your reality is now one of epic scales. Your voice is not a sharp click, but a deep, resonant, and soul-stirring groan that can travel for hundreds, even thousands of miles through the ocean's deep sound channels. Your consciousness is not confined to your immediate surroundings. Your consciousness is oceanic. With a single, long, mournful note, you are sending a part of your being across a continent of water. And you are listening. You are listening for the reply of another whale, a tiny, faint vibration that may have been traveling for hours to reach you. Your sense of community, your social world, spans an entire ocean basin. Your perception of time must be different, stretched out to accommodate these vast acoustic distances. A conversation might take a day. A courtship might be sung across 1,000 miles of water. The songs you sing are not random. They are structured, with repeating themes, phrases, and rhymes, much like human music. And these songs are cultural. All the humpbacks in the North Atlantic will sing a variation of the same song in a given year. But next year, the song will have changed, evolved. A new phrase might be introduced, an old one dropped. The song is a living, changing piece of art, a shared cultural artifact that binds together an entire population of minds across a vast and lonely sea. What are they singing about? We may never know. Are they maps? Are they histories? Are they poems? Or are they simply the sound of a great and ancient consciousness contemplating the profound, silent darkness of its world? This is a reality where a mountain range on the ocean floor is not a visual obstacle, but a great, silent reflector of sound, a landmark on an acoustic map. The surface of the water above is a shimmering, sound-reflecting ceiling. Different layers of water temperature create channels and ducts that carry sound in strange and wonderful ways. To navigate this world is to be a master acoustician. It is to understand the physics of sound with your entire body. As you lie here, enveloped in the quiet of your room, listen. Listen to the faint, ambient sounds, the hum of an appliance, the distant murmur of traffic, the creak of the house settling. We are surrounded by sound, but we treat it as secondary. For these minds of the deep, sound is everything. It is light, it is touch, it is language, it is culture. It is the very substance from which their reality is constructed. Imagine a world where to listen is to see, and to sing is to build the world. A world of pure, resonant, and echoing consciousness. Section 5. The Mind of the Many. Let us now draw our awareness back from the vast, oceanic consciousness of the whale and shrink it down, smaller and smaller, until we are resting on a single blade of grass. Before us is an anthill, a bustling, chaotic metropolis in miniature. Individual ants scurry back and forth, their movements seemingly random, driven by inscrutable, tiny urges. We look at a single ant, a creature of simple instincts, a biological machine running on a simple program: find food, carry food, follow the trail, defend the nest. It is tempting to dismiss its mind as trivial, a mere flicker of awareness, if any at all. But what if we are looking for consciousness in the wrong place? What if the mind we are seeking does not belong to the individual ant? What if the true self, the true thinking, feeling, and problem-solving entity, is the entire colony? Tonight, let us gently entertain a radical and beautiful idea: the concept of the superorganism. Let us imagine a reality where consciousness is not contained within a single skull, but is distributed across thousands of bodies, a single mind with 1,000 hands. Imagine you are no longer a singular being. Your sense of I has dissolved, diffused, and spread out. You are the colony. Your body is not made of flesh and bone, but of thousands of individual ants, all moving in concert. Your thoughts are not electrical impulses in a single brain, but are chemical signals, pheromone trails, and subtle, tactile communications exchanged between your myriad parts. When an individual ant, a tiny scout at the edge of your vast body, discovers a new source of fallen fruit, a drop of nectar, it does not think, I have found food, I must tell the others. The process is more elegant, more integrated. The scout returns to the nest, laying down a pheromone trail, a chemical sentence that says, this way to sweetness. This trail is not just a line, it is a complex message. The strength of the scent can indicate the quality of the food. Its rate of decay can signal how recently it was laid. Other ants, your other hands, encounter this trail. They do not make a conscious decision to follow it. They are simply, beautifully compelled by it. Their bodies respond to the chemical information, and they begin to move along the path. As more ants follow the trail and return with food, they reinforce it with their own pheromones, making the signal stronger, more compelling. The trail becomes a shared thought, an emergent idea. Food is here, and it is good. If the food source begins to dwindle, the returning ants lay down a weaker trail, and the shared thought begins to fade, its urgency lessening. The food is running out. This is a mind that thinks with chemistry. It learns, it remembers, and it makes decisions, but not in a centralized brain. The colony's memory is not stored in neurons, but in the physical architecture of the nest and the persistent, collective scent of the trails. Its decisions are not made by a leader, but emerge from the simple, intersecting rules followed by thousands of individuals. Consider a problem: a chasm, a small gap in the path, too wide for a single ant to cross. There is no architect, no engineer to draw up a plan, but a solution emerges. An ant reaches the edge, stretches across, and freezes. Another ant clambers over its body, does the same, and another, until their interlocked bodies have formed a living, breathing bridge. No single ant designed the bridge. No ant willed it into being. The bridge was an emergent property of the whole system. The colony itself, this superorganism, perceived a problem and grew a solution, using its own body as the building material. It is a form of embodied cognition that is utterly alien to our own centralized experience. Let us drift from the anthill to the warm, dark, humming interior of a beehive. Here, another kind of collective mind is at work. The hive is a single organism, and its goal is to maintain a perfect internal state, a state of homeostasis. Its body temperature must be kept at a precise 35 degrees Celsius to ensure the proper development of the young. How does this happen without a central thermostat? If the hive gets too cold, the worker bees, the cells of this warm-blooded superorganism, huddle together and begin to vibrate their wing muscles, generating heat. They are the hive's furnace. If the hive becomes too hot, a different set of instructions emerges. Some bees station themselves at the entrance and begin to fan their wings in perfect synchrony, creating a cooling draft. Others fly out to collect water, which they spread on the honeycomb, creating an evaporative cooling system the hive sweat. No bee is in charge. The queen is not a ruler. She is the reproductive engine. The decision to heat or cool arises from the collective, from thousands of individual bees responding to the local temperature around them. The hive itself is a homeostatic, self-regulating being. And what of its intelligence? When a scout bee finds a rich patch of flowers miles away, she returns to the darkness of the hive and performs one of the most remarkable feats of communication in the natural world, the waggle dance. On the vertical face of the honeycomb, she performs a specific, intricate dance. The angle of her dance, relative to the vertical line of the comb, tells the other bees the direction of the flowers in relation to the position of the sun in the sky. The duration of the waggle part of her dance tells them the precise distance. She has translated a complex, multidimensional map of the outside world into a symbolic language of movement, and she is broadcasting it to her sisters in the dark. The bees who observe her dance can then fly out of the hive and navigate with stunning accuracy to a location they have never seen. This is not just communication. It is abstract representation. It is a shared consciousness that can create and interpret maps. As you lie here, feel the boundary of your own self, the skin that separates you from the world. It feels so definite, so absolute. But for these creatures, that boundary is fluid. The self is porous. It extends beyond the individual body and finds its true form in the connections between the many. It is a humble, powerful reminder that consciousness might not be the singular, isolated flame we often imagine it to be. It could also be a vast, interconnected network of smaller lights, a constellation that finds its meaning not in the individual stars, but in the patterns they create together. A mind that is one and is also a million. Section 6. The Eight-Armed Philosopher. Let us now travel back to the ocean, but not to the vast, open spaces where whales sing. Let us sink down to the seafloor, to a world of intricate textures, of rocks and corals, of nooks and crannies. And here, in the quiet solitude of its grotto, we encounter a mind so radically different from our own that it forces us to question the very definition of intelligence. We come face to face with the octopus. Look at this creature. It has no bones, a body of pure, plastic potential. It can pour itself through an opening the size of its own eyeball. It has 3 hearts, blue blood, and skin that is a living, breathing television screen, capable of changing color, pattern, and even texture in an instant. But the true alien wonder of the octopus lies in its mind. Or, more accurately, its minds. Imagine, for a moment, what it would be like to have your consciousness decentralized. In your human body, your brain is the undisputed command center. Your arms and legs are loyal, obedient servants, taking their orders from the central processing unit in your skull. But for the octopus, the arrangement is more like a democracy than a monarchy. Its central brain, located between its eyes, contains only about 1/3 of its 500 million neurons. The other 2/3 are distributed throughout its 8 arms. Each arm, in a very real sense, has a mind of its own. It can taste, it can touch, and it can act independently of the central brain. An octopus arm that has been severed can still perform complex actions, like grasping a piece of food and attempting to pass it towards where its mouth would have been. Let us try to inhabit this strange reality. You are the octopus. You are not a singular I residing in your head, directing your limbs. You are a we. You are a central self, a gentle overseer, and you are also 8 intelligent, semi-autonomous appendages exploring the world. Your central brain might have the thought, I am hungry. There may be a crab in that crevice. But it does not send a series of detailed commands like, extend arm 3, probe to the left, curl fingers. Instead, it sends a general intention to the arm. Explore that hole for food. and the arm takes over. It is a questing, curious, intelligent thing in its own right. Its suckers, lined with chemical receptors, are tasting and smelling everything they touch. The arm itself processes this information, deciding how to bend, how to twist, how to conform to the shape of the crevice. It has its own set of reflexes and a local memory. It is a partnership between the central self and the distributed intelligence of the body. Your arms are not just tools, they are colleagues. What would this feel like? Perhaps it is like a conductor leading a highly skilled orchestra. The conductor guides the overall piece, setting the tempo and the mood, but each musician is an expert in their own right, interpreting the music with their own skill and nuance. The final performance is a collaborative creation. For the octopus, the symphony is the act of living, of navigating its complex, three-dimensional world. And what a world it is! The octopus's primary reality is one of touch and texture. Its arms are constantly building a detailed, tactile map of its environment. But it is also a master of visual deception. Its skin is its language. Look at it now, resting against a patch of algae-covered rock. In a fraction of a second, its smooth skin erupts into bumps and ridges, perfectly mimicking the texture of the rock. Its color shifts from pale white to a mottled green and brown, an exact match for the background. It has not just hidden itself, it has become the rock. It is wearing the environment as a cloak. This is not just camouflage, it is communication. A sudden flash of white can be a signal of alarm. A dramatic, zebra stripe pattern can be a warning to a rival. The mesmerizing, flowing patterns that pulse across its skin may be a form of courtship, or perhaps something more, an external expression of its internal state, a mood ring the size of its entire body. We see these displays, but we are illiterate in the language of chromatophores. We are watching a silent, alien movie without the subtitles, witnessing a form of expression so immediate and profound it almost bypasses the need for thought. It does not think, "I am scared," and then decide to turn pale. The fear and the paleness are one and the same event, an inseparable fusion of mind and body. This is a creature that demonstrates undeniable intelligence. Octopuses in captivity have been observed solving complex mazes, opening screw-top jars to get food, and even showing a clear sense of play, repeatedly squirting water at a bottle to push it into a current, like a child with a ball. They have been known to recognize individual human keepers, greeting some with a gentle, exploratory touch and squirting others they dislike with a jet of water. They seem to have personalities, to be distinct individuals. And yet, this is an intelligence that evolved on a completely different branch of the tree of life from our own. The last common ancestor we shared with an octopus was a tiny, simple worm-like creature that lived over 600 million years ago. Its mind is a separate, independent experiment in the evolution of consciousness. It is perhaps the closest we will come to meeting an alien intelligence without leaving our own planet. The octopus challenges our most basic assumptions. It shows us that a mind does not need to be centralized. It shows us that the body can be a thinking thing, not just a vessel for the brain. It shows us an intelligence that is fluid, creative, and profoundly embodied. As you lie here, feel the solid certainty of your own body, the clear hierarchy of your own mind. And then, for a moment, let that certainty dissolve. Imagine your awareness seeping down into your limbs, each finger a curious, questing intelligence. Imagine thinking not just with your brain, but with your skin, with your whole being. To contemplate the octopus is to contemplate the vast, strange, and wonderful possibilities of what a mind can be. It is a philosopher of the deep, and its very existence is a profound and silent question. Section 7. The Ancient Wisdom of Reptiles. Let us now slow our journey down. Let the frantic, intelligent curiosity of the octopus give way to a deeper, more ancient rhythm. We are moving from the fluid, alien world of the cephalopod to a form of consciousness that is rooted in the very bedrock of our own vertebrate ancestry. Let us stretch out on a warm, sun-drenched rock and inhabit the mind of a reptile. As you become the lizard or the snake or the tortoise, feel your internal world shift. The frantic, forward-looking chatter of the mammalian mind begins to fade. The anxious planning, the social worrying, the constant narration, all of it dissolves into a profound and patient now. Your reality is not a story you are telling yourself. It is a state you are inhabiting. Time itself seems to change its texture, stretching out, losing its urgency. The rising and setting of the sun are the primary beats of your existence, a slow, dependable drumbeat to which your entire being is attuned. Your first and most immediate reality is the sun. You are a creature of the light, but not in the way a bird or a bee is. For you, the sun is not just for seeing, it is for being. It is your furnace, your engine, your life force. As you lie on this rock, you're not just sunbathing. You are consciously and deliberately drinking in energy. You can feel the warmth seeping into your scales, penetrating your muscles, raising your internal temperature. Your mind, your body, your very ability to move and think are being awakened by the photons arriving from 93 million miles away. Imagine this sensation. It is not just a pleasant warmth. It is a slow, rising tide of vitality. As your body temperature climbs, the world comes into focus. Your movements become quicker, your senses sharper. Your thoughts, if we can call them that, become more clear. When you are cool, the world is a sluggish, muted dream. When you are warm, it is a vibrant, immediate reality. Your consciousness is directly, physically tethered to the thermodynamic state of your body. This is a form of awareness that we, with our constant, self-regulated internal heat, can only dimly appreciate. We are a steady flame. You are a creature that must be kindled anew each day. Now, let us become the snake, lying coiled in the undergrowth as evening falls. Your eyesight is not your primary tool for navigating this crepuscular world. Instead, you have a sense that is both ancient and uncanny. In small pits on your face, you possess a heat-detecting organ of astonishing sensitivity. You do not see the warm-blooded mouse scurrying through the leaves. You perceive it as a moving, glowing patch of warmth against the cool, dark background of the night. Try to imagine this perception. It is not vision as we know it. It is a thermal ghost, an infrared signature. You are seeing the life force of your prey directly. The world is a landscape of heat and cold. A sun-warmed rock retains its glow long after sunset. A living creature is a bright, mobile flame. A stream is a cool, dark ribbon. You are navigating a reality painted in temperatures, a world of pure thermal energy. This sense gives you a ghostly, X-ray-like map of the unseen world around you, a map of life and its absence. And as the snake, you have another profound way of knowing the world. You taste the air. You flick your forked tongue out, gathering molecules from the environment. When you retract your tongue, you press its forks into a special organ on the roof of your mouth called the Jacobson's organ. This is not just smelling. It is a directional, three-dimensional form of chemoreception. The two forks of your tongue sample two different points in space, giving you a stereo smell image. You can tell not just what you are smelling, but also its precise direction. You are following a trail of scent not as a single line, like the dog, but as a widening, spatial cone of information. You are tasting your way through the world, mapping the location of prey, predators, and potential mates with a quiet, chemical certainty. The reptilian mind is often misunderstood, dismissed as primitive or unfeeling. It is certainly less social, less overtly emotional than the mammalian mind we are familiar with. But to call it primitive is to miss its unique and ancient wisdom. It is a consciousness of profound patience. A crocodile can lie motionless for hours, a log with eyes, its awareness in a state of deep, calm readiness, waiting for that single, explosive moment of action. A tortoise carries its home on its back, a symbol of a mind that is self-contained, deliberate, and unhurried. This is a mind built on instincts that have been honed and perfected over hundreds of millions of years. The fear of a shadow from above, the drive to find the sun, the intricate, pre-programmed dance of courtship, these are not learned behaviors, but deep, inherited truths. This does not make the mind simple. It makes it efficient, a masterpiece of evolutionary design. There is a deep, abiding peace in this kind of existence. It is a mind that is not at war with itself. It is a mind that does not doubt its own purpose. It is a mind that is perfectly, elegantly suited to its own reality. As you lie here, feel the solid support of the surface beneath you. Let go of the need to plan, to analyze, to remember. Just for a moment, allow your consciousness to sink into the simple, profound reality of your own body in this present moment. Feel the temperature of the air on your skin. Listen to the slow, steady rhythm of your own breathing. In this quiet space, you can touch, just for a moment, the ancient, reptilian peace that lies dormant deep within your own brainstem. It is the wisdom of stillness, the intelligence of patience, the consciousness of simply being. Section 8. The Cartography of Animal Feeling. So far on our journey, we have explored the how of other realities, how the world might be perceived through scent, through ultraviolet light, through sound. But now, we must gently approach a more delicate and perhaps more profound question, the what. What does it feel like to be another creature? We are venturing now into the soft, uncertain, and deeply moving landscape of animal emotion. For a long time, science was very hesitant to tread this ground. To speak of animal feelings was seen as anthropomorphism, as projecting our own human emotions onto creatures that were thought to be mere machines of instinct. But as we watch and listen with more patience and humility, the evidence becomes too powerful to ignore. We are beginning to draw a new map, not of continents or oceans, but of the shared geography of feeling that connects all conscious beings. Let us travel to the sweeping plains of Africa and observe a herd of elephants. A matriarch, old and wise, has fallen. She has reached the end of her long life. What happens next is not a simple moving on. It is a ritual. The other elephants, her family, her herd, gather around her still body. They fall silent. They reach out with their trunks, the most sensitive and expressive of appendages, and they gently touch her face, her tusks, her ears. They will stand there for hours, sometimes for days, in a silent, solemn vigil. Years later, if a member of that herd passes the spot where her bones now lie, they will stop. They will pause their journey, approach the sun-bleached skeleton, and once again, gently touch the bones, especially the skull and the tusks. They are not just seeing bones. They are remembering a specific individual. They are revisiting a place of loss. What word can we use for this behavior other than grief? It may not be identical to human grief, with its complex narratives and existential questions, but it is a profound response to the loss of a cherished social bond. It is the emotional echo of a life that has passed. We are witnessing the cartography of sorrow, drawn on the vast canvas of the savannah. Now, let us shift our focus from sorrow to its opposite. Let us observe two otters in a clear, cold river. They are not just hunting or sleeping or mating. They are tumbling through the water, chasing each other's tails, sliding down muddy banks on their bellies only to scurry back up and do it all over again. They are wrestling, they are juggling small, smooth stones. There is no evolutionary purpose to this activity in the immediate sense. It does not gain them food or shelter. So what is it? It is the pure, unadulterated expression of joy. It is the delight of a body that is perfectly adapted to its environment, the sheer pleasure of movement and companionship. To watch them is to see an emotion we recognize instantly. It is the spirit of play, the bubbling up of a positive internal state that simply must be expressed. The world, for them in that moment, is not a place of survival. It is a playground. The map of feeling extends into the more complex territories of empathy and compassion. Consider the story, documented by scientists, of a group of rats in a cage. One rat is trapped in a small, transparent tube. The other rats are free in the larger enclosure. The free rats become agitated. They can hear and smell the distress of their trapped companion. And they learn, over time, that they can nudge open the door to the tube to release their friend. They will do this consistently, even when offered a separate, tempting reward of chocolate. Often, they will choose to free their companion first, and then share the chocolate. This is not simple instinct. It is a choice. It is an action taken to alleviate the suffering of another. It is the faint, but clear, signature of empathy. Or, let us return to the pod of dolphins. When one of their own is sick or injured and cannot surface to breathe, other members of the pod will swim beneath it, pushing it upwards, holding it at the surface, so it can take in air. They will do this for hours, even days, forsaking their own needs for food and rest. They are acting as a collective lung, a communal will to live. This is compassion in its most literal and physical form. These feelings, grief, joy, empathy, compassion may be the fundamental colors of the emotional palette, shared across many species. What differs is how they are mixed and expressed. A dog's loyalty is a deep and unwavering emotional hue. A cat's contentment, that deep, rumbling purr, is a state of tranquil bliss we can only envy. The fierce, protective love of a mother bear for her cubs is an emotional force that can change the landscape. We must be careful, of course. We can never know for certain what another being is feeling. Their internal experience will always be filtered through their unique sensory world and their specific cognitive architecture. An elephant's grief is an elephant's grief, not a human's in a large, gray body. But the existence of that emotional state itself seems undeniable. To acknowledge this is to change our relationship with the world. The creatures around us are not just biological automata or set pieces in our human drama. They are fellow protagonists in their own stories, stories rich with emotional depth. They are feeling beings, navigating their own landscapes of joy and sorrow, of fear and contentment. As you lie here, turn your awareness inward to the landscape of your own feelings. The gentle peace you might be feeling now, the quiet curiosity. These are real, tangible states of being. Now open that awareness outwards. Imagine the air around you, the world outside your window, vibrating with the feelings of countless other minds. The deep sleep of a curled-up pet, the anxious vigilance of a nocturnal mouse, the communal contentment of birds roosting in a tree. The world is not just a physical space, it is an emotional ecosystem, a vast, interconnected web of feeling. And in this shared space, we find our deepest, most profound connection to all of life. Section 9. The Bridge Between Worlds. On our journey so far, we have reached out with our imagination into minds that feel profoundly alien: the chemical mind of the ant, the distributed consciousness of the octopus, the thermal reality of the snake. But now, let us bring our focus closer to home. Let us turn our attention to the creatures who have crossed the ancient boundary between the wild and the domestic, who have chosen to share their lives, their realities, with ours. Let us contemplate the mysterious and beautiful bridge that forms between the world of humans and the world of our animal companions. This bridge is a unique space in the cosmos. It is a place where two vastly different realities overlap and attempt to create a shared language. It is a place of profound connection, but also of constant, gentle misunderstanding. It is the world you co-create every day with the dog at your feet, the cat on your lap, the horse in the paddock. Imagine your dog. We have already considered its stunning world of scent, a reality we can barely fathom. And yet, this creature, living in a symphony of odors, has learned to pay exquisite attention to the clumsy, muted sense world of its human. It cannot truly understand our language, the complex syntax and abstract concepts. The words "we're going for a walk tomorrow" are just meaningless sounds. But it has become a master linguist of a different sort. It has learned to read us. It reads the subtle shift in your posture when you reach for the leash, the change in the tone of your voice that signals happiness, the scent of adrenaline you release when you are startled. It has learned that the jingle of keys means a departure, and the sound of a specific car in the driveway means a joyful reunion. It has painstakingly translated our strange, visually driven, vocally noisy reality into terms it can understand. It has built a dictionary that bridges two species. And in turn, we learn to read it. We learn the meaning of a soft whine, the difference between a playful bark and a warning growl. We learn to interpret the subtle flick of an ear, the slow, contented wag of a tail versus the frantic, anxious one. We learn that when its head is cocked to one side, it is a sign of deep, focused listening, an attempt to parse meaning from our sounds. We are both human and dog, standing on opposite banks of a river, learning to signal to each other across the divide. The love we feel for them is, in part, a profound gratitude for their willingness to meet us on this bridge. Now, consider the cat, curled in a patch of sunlight. The cat is a different kind of diplomat from a different kind of nation. While the dog's history is one of cooperative work, the cat's is one of negotiated alliance. The pact, struck thousands of years ago, was simple. I will keep your granaries free of rodents, and in return, you will offer me warmth and shelter. This ancient contract still defines the relationship. The cat walks into our lives with an air of self-possession, an ambassador from a world of solitary hunters, of silent, crepuscular grace. Its affection is not the effusive, unconditional worship of a dog. It is a quieter, more considered offering. When a cat brings you a dead mouse or bird, it is not a gruesome gift. It is a profound act of communication. It is speaking to you in the only language it truly knows. It is saying, "You are a part of my colony, my strange, two-legged, non-hunting family. You are a poor hunter, so I, the expert, will provide for you." It is an act of care, a lesson in feline reality. The slow blink from across the room is another piece of this shared language. In the world of cats, direct, unbroken eye contact is a threat. A slow, deliberate blink is a signal of trust, of non-aggression. It says, "I am comfortable with you. I see you, and I am not a threat." And when we learn to return this gesture, to offer a slow blink back to our feline companion, we are speaking. We are using their grammar. We are standing on that bridge and saying, "I understand. I trust you, too." The purr that rumbles in its chest is a vibration of contentment, a physical manifestation of a peaceful inner state that it chooses to share with us, a sound that lowers our own heart rate and bridges the gap between our nervous systems. This bridge can extend to even more seemingly distant minds. The rider and the horse. A horse is a creature of prey, its entire being tuned to detect danger, its first instinct always to flee. And yet, it allows a predatora human to sit on its back. This is an act of trust that is staggering in its depth. It is a trust built on thousands of hours of quiet communication, of learning to read the subtle tensing of a muscle, the flick of an ear, the shift of weight. The rider, in turn, learns to speak not with words, but with their own body. The pressure of a leg, the gentle pull on a rein, the calming tone of a voice, this becomes the language. The horse and rider, when truly in sync, become a single, centaur-like being, a fusion of two minds and two bodies working in concert. The horse lends its power, its speed, its grace. The human lends its foresight, its planning, its direction. Together, they create a new, shared reality, a partnership that transcends the ancient dynamic of predator and prey. As you lie here, if you have ever loved an animal, bring that feeling into your heart. Remember the quiet moments of connection, the wordless understanding, the feeling of a shared presence. In these moments, we are at our most humble and our most magnificent. We are acknowledging that our reality is not the only one, and we are reaching across the void with patience and with love. These bridges, built of trust and patient observation, are perhaps the most hopeful things on the planet. They are testaments to the universal, underlying desire for connection, a desire that ripples through all forms of consciousness, no matter what shape they take. Section 10. The Great Unspoken Mystery. We have been standing on the bridge of connection, feeling the warmth of that shared understanding with the creatures who walk beside us. It is a place of profound comfort, a testament to the heart's ability to reach across the deepest of divides. And yet, as our journey tonight comes to its gentle close, we must acknowledge a final, beautiful truth. Even on this bridge, we remain on our own side of the chasm. We can signal, we can learn, we can love, but we can never truly cross over. The final, innermost chamber of another's reality remains a sacred, private space. And this is where we find the ultimate lesson of our exploration. Our journey was never about finding a secret key to unlock those other rooms of consciousness. It was about learning to stand in the hallway of the great mansion of life, in humble, reverent awe of the fact that the other rooms exist at all. It is about replacing the desire to know with the capacity to wonder. For what have we truly discovered tonight? We have imagined a world painted not in light, but in the intricate, time-layered tapestry of scent. We have pictured flowers blooming in secret colors of ultraviolet, speaking a language meant only for the eyes of a bee. We have listened to the echoes of a world built from sound, a cathedral of sonar in the lightless deep. We have felt the thrum of a single mind distributed across 1,000 bodies in a hive, thinking with chemistry and movement. We have touched the cool, smooth skin of a philosopher with 8 arms, a mind so alien it feels like a visitor from another star. We have felt the slow, sun-drenched peace of a consciousness ancient and deep, and we have felt the familiar echoes of our own grief and joy in the hearts of our fellow mammals. Each of these realities is a universe unto itself. Each is a valid, complete, and coherent interpretation of the one existence we all share. And we, with our powerful, curious, language-filled human minds, stand in the midst of this chorus, holding our own unique instrument. Our reality, the one that feels so total and all-encompassing, is just one voice in an infinite choir. There is a profound peace to be found in this realization. It releases us from the burden of being the sole arbiters of reality, the single consciousness in a world of unthinking objects. The world is not a silent stage upon which the human drama unfolds. The world is a conversation, a symphony of countless subjectivities, a forest of minds. To walk through a forest is to walk through 1,000 different sensory worlds happening all at once. The deer is tasting the air, the bird is reading the secret code of the foliage, the beetle is navigating by the polarized light of the sky, the mycelial network underfoot is communicating in a slow, chemical language all its own. They are all experiencing their own reality, right here, right now, alongside you. This does not make us smaller. It makes us part of something immeasurably larger. It invites us to a deeper kind of companionship with the world. When you next look into the eyes of an any animal, from the spider in the corner to the deer at the edge of the woods, you are not just looking at a biological machine. You are looking at a vessel for a unique form of experience. You are gazing upon the surface of a mystery as deep as any ocean. You can ask the question, what is it like to be you? And you can find a profound peace in the silence of the answer. The silence is not an emptiness. It is a fullness. It is the space required for respect. It is the quiet acknowledgement of the other. The great, unspoken mystery is not a problem to be solved. It is a truth to be lived with, to be cherished. It is the simple, breathtaking fact that we are not alone in our awareness. Consciousness, in its myriad unimaginable forms, has blossomed all around us. So as you lie here, on the edge of sleep, let this thought be a gentle, comforting blanket. The universe is not a cold, empty void sparsely decorated with life. It is a shimmering, vibrant, and sentient tapestry. Every living thing is a thread, and every thread is glowing with its own inner light, its own subjective reality. Your consciousness is one of those threads, woven into this magnificent, mysterious design. You are a part of the great conversation, even if you can only ever truly speak your own language. And there is a deep and abiding rest to be found in simply listening to the beautiful, incomprehensible murmur of it all. Our journey of gentle curiosity is now at its end. We have wandered through realities of scent and sound, of secret colors and shared feelings. We have found that the world is so much richer, so much more mysterious and wonderful than we often perceive. Let these thoughts now dissolve like sugar in water, leaving only a feeling of quiet connection and peace. Let the questions fade, and let the wonder remain as a soft pillow for your mind to rest upon. The great mystery does not need to be solved tonight. It is simply there to hold you as you drift into your own quiet, inner world of dreams. May your breath be slow and steady. May your rest be deep and restorative.
Sleep well.